Days of Thunder. Better buckle up. And welcome to Nostalgia, a chronological exploration of every NES game released in North America. I'm Mike.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Joe.
Did you guys see the Days of Thunder movie?
It's a great question, Mike.
I'm not going to answer it.
No, this is one of my larger action movie blind spots. I've never seen it. I watched the trailer before playing. It was everything that I expected it to be. Really glad that Randy Quaid, hallowed be thy name, is in the movie. So yeah, it's on my list of things to watch.
We got a lot of good people in this movie. We got Randy Quaid. You obviously have Tom Cruise starring in it. Robert Duvall. Nicole Kidman.
Sure.
John C. Reilly.
Okay.
I mean, I could keep going, but that's pretty strong. But most
you could have stopped at Randy Quaid.
Yeah, no one's going to beat that. But the most important part of Days of Thunder, which I did not know before watching the movie, is that Days of Thunder is like the Top Gun team getting together and saying, we're going to do what we did for planes. We're going to do that for cars.
We're putting cars on the map.
Right. Well, do you think they put planes on the map?
Yeah, I don't think anyone really flew before.
They didn't know how
At least
safe
that
it
fast.
was.
Yeah. Now that's just a commercial jet now. That's what they fly like. This might be crazy to say. I don't know, but I have never heard of Days of Thunder until this week, the movie. Is this like a crazy like cultural blind spot?
I mean, I share it.
It made
but like, have you heard of it?
Made a lot of money.
I had heard of it, yeah. But I also don't have that much interest in NASCAR, even though I have been to a NASCAR race. That was when I was very young and wasn't really a thing for me.
The funny thing is once you know about the whole like Top Gun connection thing too, though, where it's like same director and all that, it's like Tom Cruise is basically just playing Maverick, but if he was a NASCAR driver. It's like the guy has no experience in NASCAR, just shows up to the track. He's like, yeah, I'll ride your car, dude. He posts like the fastest lap ever. He posts like the fastest lap. And then the guy, of course, whose car he rode is like pissed off at him. He's like, yeah, go find your own car, buddy. Like, this is my car. And they have like a film's length worth of rivalry to unpack after that opening scene. But like, then the rest of the movie is just like, yeah, Tom Cruise is fucking awesome at NASCAR. It's like, I don't think that's how it works. Like, I think everybody wishes that they were like the people in the stands watching.
Yeah,
and
he's
being
got
like,
his license.
But they're just like, they're just turning to the left. It's like, I could do that. Get me down there. And it's like, I don't think it feels like that. Like, I think once you get in the car, it's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, like if you've never like driven like this, I don't think it's like, I don't think it's gonna be like super analogous to like driving your car around the block. It's like, no, I gotta imagine it's a very different experience.
Right. And he has driven before, just not at the NASCAR level. It's not like,
okay.
It's like, it becomes a thing where it's like, he's obviously like done some kind of racing at some level, but it's like, then he just starts winning. And it's like, I guess that's what you want out of a movie, but it's also like not very realistic. But like the movie otherwise is going for like, we are going to capture the excitement of NASCAR on film in a way that like we, again, like what we did for Top Gun, where it's like, this is going to be like reference quality, like amazing sound design. Like you're going to want to own the VHS so you can play it on your big CRT and impress all your friends. It's like they're doing all that, but then they're also like trivializing just how freaking hard what these guys do on the track is.
I mean, I liked Talladega Nights, and I think that doesn't really. I think that's sort of like my Days of Thunder,
Sure.
I think he had driven before in that one, though.
Yeah, he was the NASCAR, like, he was already at the top, right? He was at his Apex Mountain before the movie started.
I did hear, though, that in Days of Thunder that Dale Earnhardt is not in it, and it's just kind of like, why?
Yeah. Well,
praise hell, praise Dale, man.
Is NASCAR in general, like, is the term thunder there because the cars sound like thunder as they roll past you? Is that the idea?
I believe so.
Okay, because it's like Days of Thunder isn't just like called that for being a pretty, sexy title. It's also like, I know there was like a NASCAR Thunder game on like either Xbox or Dreamcast or something. So like it's a term. I just don't watch enough NASCAR to know.
Yeah, it's like you say that instead of like vroom vroom.
Right. Now, NASCAR, F1, like all that stuff, like I want to know all about the Indy series. Like I want to watch that stuff because they all cut great promos and have great like TV specials, but when you watch the actual races, it doesn't ever quite get there. It kind of feels like it's like, oh, well, that's just who had the best car that day, and they started in the pole position and they finished in the pole position, or like, they were in second and they finished in the pole position. Big fucking deal, right? It's like it just kind of feels like a foregone conclusion once you watch it, where it's like, oh, I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting crashes, right? Like that's the other reason to watch all this stuff is like, let's see somebody die, right? Like that's another part of this whole thing that nobody wants to unpack, but it is another reason why people watch this sport. Days of Thunder, the video game that we are playing today, goes out of its way to separate itself from the movie. Agree? Disagree?
I wouldn't know.
I can't really have an opinion on it because I haven't seen the movie. And Sean,
no, but you know what I
right?
mean. Like you didn't pick up any plot beats, right? You weren't like,
yeah.
right. This is now like I'm in the hospital.
No, I figured out my name is Trickle.
Well,
and sometimes I have bad luck or rough luck, or what do they say?
I think it's funny that like we're basing what a movie game should be by like how the Back to the Future games did it, of like trying to just like, oh, this scene and that scene,
right?
And I guess we didn't really get a lot of like just not when we think of movie tie-in games, we think of like the kind of hero action tie-in games and not a racing game. So what they're actually doing here is just like, this is a NASCAR game and it really doesn't have anything much to do with the movie itself except the fact that you are that racer. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Days of Thunder has the benefit of the movie, has the benefit of having like its story, but also revolving around this sport. And then you can take the sport, and that's perfect for gameplay. Whereas Back to the Future, it's like, well, yeah, they just do a bunch of different things in that, and you got to translate all of that into gameplay, or else it's not going to seem like Back to the Future. Or, it'd be like if they made a Mighty Ducks video game, you're probably just going to be, well, I mean, it would be cool to do other stuff in that kind of thing, too, but, like, you could make a Mighty Ducks video game where you're just playing hockey, and it has something in it that can be very easily gamified that we know people want to play already. So you don't need to, go to the hospital or whatever happens in the movie.
Yeah, the best you get at like understanding the movie, or at least like, building upon it, is in the manual. Because it's, again, another one of those very like lengthy text heavy manuals, but also doing some like world building, not just like tutorials and shit. It's like, I don't even know who it's pretending to be. It starts off with the overview. Let me drive. You build me a car and I'll win Daytona next year. That's not like in quotes or anything. That's just text. And then the next paragraph is, think so, huh? You're raw, untested. It's like, is this a conversation? Like, this is the overview? Like, it's a little confusing what's going on. But, As Joe mentioned, yes, you're Cole Trickle, rookie driver, and you are going to try and win the Daytona 500. Yeah, to do so, you have to go, kind of like through various races in NASCAR, and that is like that's the best part to pick up into the actual discussion of the video game in this episode, because the very first level of the game, you're at Daytona Beach. And you will immediately be thrown into it with a lap? What's that? Qualifying lap. So that's like, hey, now go drive. Here's the keys, go drive. So how's driving?
It's It's pretty sim, I guess. Like I feel like it's super simplified, maybe too simplified, in so much that like it's not a typical racer. We have played racers like this before, where you aren't holding down an accelerator. You are holding down an accelerator to then set the point at which you want to go that fast. And then you can just let go of the controller and it'll just stick at that speed. So it does not feel like I have played NASCAR games before, and most racing games feel this way too. It doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're putting the pedal to the metal. It doesn't feel like you're pushing the car forward just by like, I don't know, there's this feeling of when you're holding like the A button and that is the accelerator, and like when you let go you decelerate, that like that makes it feel like you're driving. I don't know. Yeah, I think that this was, maybe we've seen something like this before, but have we ever seen something where you hold until the point that you want to be accelerating at, but then pressing the decelerate just like is like turns it completely off, you know? Like then like that's what's weird to me. I would like, if you're going to have it like hold A to kind of like accelerate until you want to stop and stay at that speed, then it should be like hold B to decelerate and stop and stay at that speed. But instead it's like press B once and like it's like you turned off cruise control and you're going to now coast, and then you have to press it again to set it again.
No, it's like so, you like, pulled the keys out of the car.
Yeah, right. and then all that to say is like all what that really translates to is when you're taking a turn, which is every 1.5 seconds of this game, when you're taking a turn, you have to slow down, but then it's like this weird combination of button inputs where you have to hit B to slow down, then you have to watch it slow down, and then press A again real quick when you want to stay at that speed, or else you're going to lose a ton of speed.
Yeah,
so that took a while for my brain to readjust to.
It's weird that this whole thing has happened at least twice where a car has worked like this, when if you think about a car and you think about a gas pedal and a brake pedal and you think like, oh, there's an A button and a B button. Like this is this is why there's so many racing games. Like it's pretty easy to transpose this onto a controller, and yet we've got this weird way that a car doesn't work.
Yeah.
As the controls. That said, like, you know, once you get used to that, like your typical, like if you play a lot of racers, you then end up trying to do like apex turns and like decelerating into a turn and trying to accelerate out of a turn. But the problem there is that like once you start decelerating, it's like you can't just feather it. Like you immediately lose like 50 miles an hour if you just tap it. And so there's not really that smooth transition that always feels good when you actually hit something like that in Gran Turismo or some other game. It feels kind of jank at that point.
Yeah, and speaking of losing like 50 miles per hour all at once, I think this was more of a factor when you had other racers on the road, but right away in this preliminary round, like, it was weird because, like, it takes a while for the visual feedback of what your car is doing to catch up to that. So it's like, yeah, I see I just lost 100 miles per hour, but it does not look like I'm going any slower on the car screen. So, like, that makes it a little weird, too.
That could just be the turns, though, too, right? Because you're only decelerating on the turn, so it could just be that now, like, it's wider and you're on the turn, so it doesn't look like the same sense of speed that you were getting on the straightaways.
Yeah, but even if I, like, bumped into somebody or, like, bumped into a wall on a straightaway for some reason, I don't know why that would happen, but, like, even if I did it on a straightaway, I remember thinking, like, why does it say I'm going so much slower? Or, like, when I'm accelerating, like, I'm not noticing a ton of feedback that makes it look like, oh yeah, now I'm going faster than I was a minute ago.
Sure,
you know?
Sure. And when you bump into people too, it's like, well, hold on a minute, huge problem here. No crashes. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of people playing NASCAR, baby. Like, oh, where's the crashes? It's just like you bump into people and it's like bumper cars. It's like, oop, now they take the lead. And it's like, why is it that like when I bump into them, it doesn't affect them, but when they bump into me, it also doesn't affect them? They're just really good at bumping into me.
I mean, if you block well enough, like they end up like you're usually bumping into the ass of somebody else. Obviously, you're gonna start going slower, but you can also have them just hit your ass, and then they'll kind of drag behind you.
That's true. That's true. And everything you guys were describing about how to control this car, it all checks out. It is as confusing as it sounds. But like Sean said, it is something you kind of learn to adapt to for this specific game. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to go play like an actual sim racer and be like, oh, I thought I was just going to lock in there. Like, no, it's happening here. But it kind of becomes, because the tracks are small too, it becomes almost rhythmic of like, those extreme drops from when you press the B button to brake. You start to learn that it's a very quick tap, and then you're right back into accelerate mode, and like you learn the turns. Am I wrong in thinking that like the way to do the turn is to start on the inside and drift out to the outside, not hug the inside the entire time?
Yeah.
Because I tried hugging the inside the entire time, and that just actually winds up making you lose a lot of speed to be going slow enough to hang in there. In fact,
what it should be, if this game wasn't just like faking 3D, which it actually does look pretty good, just to throw that in there. What you would want to start on the exterior of the track, then at the middle of the turn, sort of try and kiss the left side. And then as you're accelerating, allow yourself to drift to the right as well. Anybody that plays racing games like kind of has that in their head as how you should try and take a turn, at least at the most like basic level. But you can start on the interior and allow yourself to drift to the right, because it's not really simulating anything there.
And other than managing your speed and the apex of the turns and everything, you also have to manage your fuel. There's a big fuel gauge in the top left corner, and when that is coming close to running out, obviously you'll have to pit stop. To pit stop, there isn't like an actual lane you have to enter. You'll just see the words pit stop written along the side of the track, usually near the checkered starting and finishing point. So you just kind of hug that, and then you enter the pit stop, and then welcome to a whole nother game, baby. Yeah. Welcome to a whole different game. I thought I was playing, NASCAR checkers, but I was playing NASCAR chess.
Yeah.
Before we get into like the actual mechanics of the actual pit, my favorite thing about this is that if you try and go fast and you don't slow down enough as you're entering the pit, you will just blow right through it and have to go back around.
Yeah, it'll like actually give you the little cutscene of you entering the pit, and you just keep going. You just fly through the little cutscene.
But then you get in there, and now you are all of your pit crew, and I hope there's some time dilation going on here, because it's going to take you a while to do everything you need to do.
Yeah,
and I know that
pit crew works.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know pit crews like nowadays are like really like a second or so, maybe even like a second is too much at this point. But like obviously, like in the 90s, it wasn't that fast, but it also wasn't like, I don't know, I was clocking in like 40 seconds or something. Like,
yeah,
it's like it doesn't take 40 seconds either. But Joe, I think I'm not gonna scoop your story, but like I think you were about to say this isn't how pit crews work. You're right, but why? Go for it.
Well, because you have to select each member of the pit crew and do their task individually.
It is so
you have
nutty.
They can't all be doing it at the same time. So you just have to like, and it's weird the first time you do it. I will say the first time I did it, I was clocking like 2 minutes and 30 seconds because I was like, what is going on here? So
now you
big
can
waste of time.
You can almost get it to look like they're all doing it at once, because once you select, like, let's say you've got the guy with the jack, and then you raise the jack up. Now you can quickly select both of the wheel guys, and their animation keeps playing even if you switch to another character,
see, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for like the tire change to finish to start another task. So you can get a few going at once, but then you have to like walk all the way around, because the guy with the wrench who works on the engine, for some reason can't man the jack on the other side. So in order to get the other wheels up, you got to walk all the way around, get the other jack going, and then also for some reason the guy with the fuel can't be fueling while the jack is up. So I guess you would want to work on the engine and gas up at the same time. I don't know.
But to
there's
Joe's
a lot
point,
going on.
To Joe's point, though, it's like I agree with you that, like, you know, at least you can get them started. But like, that's not how a pit crew does everything all at once.
No, absolutely.
Right? Like, yeah. So it's like, why isn't it just like, you don't know who you're going to be on the crew this time, right? And it's like, all of a sudden you have to like do that job, and then everybody else is working too. Like, I don't know. That doesn't sound great either. So I'm just throwing that out there on the fly. But like, there has to be a better way to do this. I like that they made it interactive. Like, that was unexpected. I wasn't actually even doing anything the first time I entered the pit. I just sat there and I was like, oh, this is me?
Yeah.
Maybe like they could abstract it a bit more and like make it just like a quick time event, but that doesn't exist yet. So like if you had to get like a couple things in the middle of like a bar with a hot zone or something, but I don't know. It's weird that you do it this way, but I think that's probably one of the draws to make it more authentic.
Yeah, I like the idea of it, and I think I would like the idea of it more if you really had like more of like you're getting new cars as you go, and you understand it, your specific car more outside of just the pit, but. I like the idea. It's just hard for me to come up with a good alternative on the NES that's still fun. You know, I'm sure there's a way to do it, but like, I don't think this was it. But I also don't think I have a great alternative myself.
I think it could have just been though, like where the individual crew members still like do their thing, but then like, you know, I'm not saying quick time events, but like all of a sudden, you know, the guy goes and he has the jack and you have to hit control pad up a few times, right? And then like another guy comes and it's with the wrench and it's like hit the A, you know? And it's like, maybe that's like enough, whereas like you're not trying to like move all these parts at once, but you're just being the active role as they're doing it. So this way it's like you're just clicking like the up button 3 times, the A button 3 times, like as these things roll through, because this isn't that kind of game. Like, this doesn't have to be intense, and it isn't intense for what it's worth. But like, you want to get back. I mean,
it's kind of intense because you over time you also get like that little boop every time you're passed, and you want to get this done fast enough so you don't get that many boops. That's why I do think there is some time dilation going on here, because it takes more time to do this than it does for you to do a full lap. So.
But then they should just time dilate the clock too, right? Like, they should just make it this way you know what your actual time is compared. You know, like, it's
maybe
weird that there has this other clock.
I'm not against that.
I meant it's not that intense, as in like it's not the world's hardest thing to do. It's just that unfortunately it takes a lot of time and it takes you out of the race that you're like you're building a rhythm for. You know, like, it's not that easy to pass people in this kind of thing either, you know? It's to make up ground and everything, especially after you lose those places in the pit. It's not like, oh, well, I'll just get them right back when I start driving again. It's not like the AI is stupid.
I mean, so I know that we've been a little crass and talked about just turning left and like where the crash is, but I think that when and how to pit is one of the, and this is just me guessing, is probably one of the pillars of strategy in NASCAR. So I appreciate that something that is important to the sport is more than just you gotta do this every 10 to 15 laps, and it's just gonna, like, you automatically lose X amount of time. There's no way for you to be better at this. So I appreciate that it's there in the form that it's in. It is goofy.
Yeah, I wonder how much of like our experience with it is that we're amateurs at this video game. But as an amateur of this video game, I do feel like when I go into the pit, like, I get that this is something that all racers are dealing with. Yes, I'm going to lose time, but so is everybody else. And yeah, you got to strategize about like when and how to do that. But I do feel like the computer is just so much better at it than me, and better at like keeping its place, that I feel like it's just, if this was a game against other people, it would feel a little better to me.
What's funny too is as we watch, as I watched a Let's Play while we're talking, I just saw the person that recorded this do it in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned, like, you know, the strategy of it all, because yes, there's absolutely like a winning strategy to all these different tracks too. Like you do have to know them well, and like just like you would in real life and everything. But it's kind of funny how like modern NASCAR games have also like reduced a lot of this to just like make it faster, make you like race more often. Like you don't do like, you know, 80 laps or anything. Like you usually just do like 5 laps. It's all like streamlined, and it's like everything's going much faster. And it's just like, did this game capture NASCAR a little better than like some games do now? Like on like a, not on a sim scale, but just on like a strategy point of view. Like I think this game is the right balance of like, if you know NASCAR and you're good at it, you'll be good at this game. And if you don't know NASCAR, but you're willing to like, you know, learn the driving system, the complicated driving system that they've laid out here, you can also play this game. And I say play this game because I'll be honest, like I wasn't placing first. I wasn't getting anywhere, but like I was enjoying like myself racing, right? Like getting better at making the turns, learning how the pit crew thing worked. Like I can't say I'll sink like 100 hours into this game or whatever, but like it's not very friendly at first, and it does get friendly, which means that somehow they have designed something right.
Yeah, I'll agree that it is more intuitive after futzing around with it for a bit than one would think. I was expecting this to not really have any intensity, and like the sense of speed is definitely debatable. But it is. I like your use of the word friendly there. Like it's something you can get into.
I'm torn because I do think, yeah, the more I played it, the more like I got it. It felt a little smoother. I think the sense of speed is middle of the road from what we've seen on the NES, which is not, you know, not a bad thing, not a good thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I needed music or I needed something, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's no music.
I just found these races just kind of boring. Like it was just, I mean, I didn't feel the excitement really at any point.
It's a good point though, Joe, about the music. Like maybe they were trying to make it sound like the roar of the car, but they can't do that on the NES. And,
yeah,
and it is.
And I was impressed with that sound effect at first, and I was like, oh yeah, it does sound like a car. And I was like, all right, turn it off.
Maybe
now.
if there was just like smaller gaps between the checkerboard pattern that they got to even have there be any sense of speed, like maybe if that was a little faster, this would feel more intense. But yeah, I get it.
And then, you know, not to like, again, I feel like I've often lately am just like really scooping my own essential games list vote, but like when I'm on like the second race and it's like, and this race is 35 laps, and I'm like I cringe at that idea. I'm just like, that's not a good sign for me.
Well, that's actually an order of magnitude fewer than there would be in a real race, Joe.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But like it's still much more than we've seen in most NES races.
And it's not particularly other than from like there isn't a story, but like from a progression point of view, there isn't any like reward for moving on to the next race. You know, like it's not you don't like get a power up or a faster car. It's just like, okay, cool, you did that, now do this. It's like, oh, it's not very friendly, you know, like that, to the opposite of what I was saying earlier. It's like, okay, like new track, so something new to learn and everything.
Maybe if you win or at least place in the race, like Nicole Kidman comes up and like gives you a hug or something, like that would be pretty cool.
Oh, hell yeah. Or she tells you how great it is to be at the movies.
God.
What else do I have here? No, because this is all... Well, yeah, I guess I should mention that even though I said that it wasn't tied to the movie, I meant by the video game standards at least, Tom Cruise is on the box art of the game as well, which would be confusing because you might think, oh, he'll be in the game as well, but you'll never see like a detailed
He's
Tom
in the car.
Cruise. Yeah, he's in the car.
Take our word for it.
And that's Tom Cruise. He drives the car. Days of Thunder 2, the movie, is actually coming out. Why?
Oh,
wow.
Why now?
They're just
Why?
following.
Well, Top Gun 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's
Did
also
well.
another. The Top Gun 3 is happening as well. I don't know if I'm gonna get like in trouble for saying that.
What do you mean?
No, you know, like it because I haven't seen like a trailer for it or anything, but like
You just
they're making
know
it.
because you're an insider.
Yeah, I'm an insider, right? Well,
No
Paramount,
NDAs?
You know, yeah, I'm not on any NDAs, so should be good there. But Days of Thunder 2, apparently no Nicole Kidman.
That's unfortunate.
Margot Robbie.
Wow. They have okay. Is Tom Cruise in it?
Tom Cruise is in it. Tom Cruise was
Pretty
like, "I'll
typical.
do it." Yeah, he's like, "I'll do it, but I don't want. I don't want Nicole Kidman.
I don't want anybody my age
Right.
to be sharing scenes with me.
And it should be mentioned that is Tom's car from the movie in the game as well. That green and yellow car, he did drive that. You know, one thing I got to talk about with the movie, and I'm sorry if it sounds like now I don't want to talk about the game, but like the movie has this one scene where
You watched the movie.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Tom Cruise's arch rival, whose name escapes me right now because it's been a while.
Ricky Bobby?
No, stop it. He like does a move in the during one of the races to screw Tom Cruise over, and it's like, you know, hey, that was pretty dirty play, but it wasn't like he like slashed his tires or anything. You know what I mean? It was just like it's a creative way to like screw you over, and like, you know, the NASCAR gods wouldn't be happy about it. I'm sure there'll be an article, you know, in the in the NASCAR Times about it, and people will read about it, and Stephen A. Smith will have a hot take about it. But like, it wasn't that controversial, you know? Like, it's just gonna be something people talk about. He takes the checkered flag and does his victory lap. Tom Cruise gets back in the car that is now, like, you know, pretty beat to shit, gets back in the car and just drives at the guy and fucking, like, you know, like
tries to kill him.
Yeah, he T-bones him. And it's just like, wait a minute. Like, you would be immediately
you're the bad
banned,
guy.
but you would be, like, immediately banned from NASCAR
Yeah.
and probably on trial for doing something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like rubbed off, like it wasn't brushed aside, but it was kind of weird that it's like that's not like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I
Credits.
don't know.
just
I
roll.
wonder maybe does that happen? I don't know. I haven't really watched much
It's like
NASCAR.
charging the plate or charging the mound rather.
Yeah.
I know that during F1 races, because they occasionally will like have their team radios come up, like they will play dirty during the race to like purposely box out specific people or
Yeah, but this is post race.
right. That's what I'm saying. This has never happened post race. This is nobody's ever been T-boned after a race, or even just like taking a shot at somebody, right? Like, what the hell is going on here? Like,
he was actually driving home after the race. He was like pulling into his driveway, and then Tom Cruise T-boned him from the yard.
Right. Yeah, Tom Cruise, it would have been better if he just like drove all over his lawn, right? Like, that would have made more sense. It's like, oh, he's angry. And I'm angry about that scene. I'm so fired up that I think we should do the Essential Games list. Days of Thunder is a movie I would recommend, actually. Yeah, you guys should watch it. But you have to watch it on like a huge screen. Like, honestly, I know back in the day they had a VHS and a 32-inch CRT, but I think this thing requires 77 inches or more. And I don't know if it's just because...
Some of us don't have that much wall, Mike.
That's what I was going to say, though. 77 inches or more, it sounds like I'm at the Caveman Olympics again. I'm fucking horny, right? It's like, let's go. Put the
77 inches.
You were the only one thinking that.
Okay. Yeah, probably true. I got to get offline. I am so online right now. Back to the review of the game itself. Nah. It's not even the best driving game we've played on the NES, so it's not going to get it for that. I wish that the pit stop thing was fun, though. I gotta say. I wish it was actually fun, because when I realized it was like, oh, that's me, that's my turn, like, I was like, hell yeah. And then I realized I don't even really know what I would be doing. So then I went to the manual. I was like, okay, I get it now. And it wasn't fun. It should be fun to work on cars, right? Like, they kind of screwed that up a little bit. But maybe it's because you also, like, have to pit like more than once a race. Like, maybe you shouldn't do that. Like, maybe I'm just bad at my fuel or whatever, but like make that like more rare. Don't make that like part of it, because the game is sold because we're racing, and I want to make sure that like the racing is the best it can be, and it's not. So it's not on the Essential Games list. Joe.
Yeah, just to add to your pit stop suggestions there too. Like, I wonder, and I don't know, I'm assuming this is accurate to real NASCAR, but like, yeah, what if you had to do something that is actually different based on the condition of your car? Like, you know, I know that, like, I don't know. I know that you can go in there with, like, not all of your tires are screwed up, but, like, you have to just do everything, right? Before you can
No, you
ride
don't.
on.
You can,
you don't
you can just fuel up if you want.
No, I didn't even realize that. But, like, but still, I wish that there was, like, oh, now I have to do, I don't know how many other things there are to do other than change tires, fuel up, but, like, oh, because of this one thing I got, you know, something that like connects you to the car a little more. I think I would appreciate more. But again, maybe I don't know how that would work, but just a thought. But the pit stop aside, I think I just don't get this game. I don't know. I don't really have much fun with any of it. I'm not like saying it's a train wreck. I don't know. Even the actual racing is just very dull to me. So this is definitely not my cup of tea, and I'm certainly not going to vote it essential.
Sean.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's... I was charmed by this game, just from the things that they do simulate, and the visuals look good, and like one thing that I didn't really mention is that like you can actually keep track of the other racers, kind of. Like, it seems like in a lot of racing games that we've played, it's just like, oh, you're gonna run into this every 2 seconds. You're gonna have to pass somebody. But even if you like sort of look ahead on a turn, like you can see like that guy is that far ahead of you, and just that idea of persistence I appreciate. I'd say that the actual feel of racing is a little wonky just because of the way that the gas pedal works. I don't think there was any real way that they were going to get past that for me. But what they did do, I think they did well. It feels weird. Not the best racing game we've played, but this is way better than I thought it was going to be. But still not essential.
Listing off some of the other racing games we've played, and I'm going to be a little liberal here with what a racing game is, but we have Excite Bike. So let's start there. Would you put Days of Thunder above or below Excite Bike?
Below.
I would put
below. I didn't even really like Excite Bike that much.
I would put this below Excite Bike.
Okay.
Rad Racer.
Gotta look it up real quick.
No, you don't. Come on, Rad Racer's great.
I gotta look it up, but yeah, this also below Rad Racer.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're not doing the whole thing. We're not comparing Rad Racer to Excite Bike right now. Just saying.
Are you gonna go through all of them?
Yeah. RC Pro-Am.
Oh, we can't go through all of these.
What do you mean? We got 6 more. How much longer would it take? RC Pro-Am, I think it's a no doubt that RC Pro-Am is better than Days of Thunder.
Yeah, I actually quite liked RC Pro-Am.
Yeah. Cobra Triangle.
I'd say below. That's the water one, right?
Yeah, Cobra Triangle was fun.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
I did not say that this was a great game.
Wait a minute. This isn't an attack on you. I just was curious. I was just curious where this would fall in the racing catalog.
I was wondering why you weren't answering.
Al Unser Jr.'s Turbo Racing.
Worse than this.
I gotta look it up. I remember the name. I can't. I don't really remember my experience with this.
Well,
probably,
then you're going to be overruled.
Honestly, probably still below just by looking at it. But I don't know.
Al Unser Jr.'s was hard. That's the difference. At least I felt like I could drive these laps.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could actually do a lot of what Al Unser Jr.'s Turbo Racing wanted me to do. So I will agree with Sean. And so we have figured it out where it's going. But just to list off the other two, there's Rad Racer 2, which is actually worse than Rad Racer 1. So
yeah, it was.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'd put Days of Thunder over Rad Racer 2. Maybe it'd be like middle. Maybe it'd be like equal to each other.
Yeah, I think I might put it over too. I remember Rad Racer 2 being also very bland.
And then there's the final one, Bigfoot. I think Days of Thunder is better than Bigfoot.
I agree. I also think that Rad Racer 2 was the other game that accelerated in the same way, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you might be right.
I'll put this game above Bigfoot only because I remember on the Bigfoot episode you invited Sean to a monster truck rally and didn't invite me.
That's true.
We didn't go
true.
if it means anything.
Unapologetically.
My offer still stands, Sean, whenever you want.
But actually watching this footage of Bigfoot, yeah, I think I actually would put it below this game.
Here's a question I should have asked on the main show. Does Days of Thunder's pit stop have any relationship to Top Gun the video game's carrier landing sequence? Is there a shared point of frustration there for both games?
Is it the same developer?
No, but it's the same. It's a Tom Cruise movie.
Tom Cruise movie. I mean, I remember being much more frustrated with the landing than I was with the pit stop. Although I don't like the pit stop either. But yeah, it is weird that they both have this.
All right, we're up.
Okie dokie.